Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa Gora Karuna Sorupaya, Radha Krishna Prasthayate.
Namo Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa Namine, Gora Karuna Sorupaya, Radha Krishna Prasthayate.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Narayana, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Narayana,
Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Narayana, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Narayana,
Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Narayana, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Narayana,
Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Narayana, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Narayana,
Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Narayana, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Narayana,
Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Narayana, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Narayana,
Gopadi Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shri Vatsante Gopata Rupa,
Radha Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shri Vasudeva Bhagavandas,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Hari Bol Krishna,
Madana Mohana,
Hari Bol Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Hari Bol Krishna,
Madana Mohana,
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana
Hallelujah, Chaitanya da, sing loud. Gopala Govinda Rama,
Hari Bol Krishna,
Madana Mohana,
Hari Bol Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Hari Bol Krishna,
Madana Mohana, Haribol, Haribol.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Hari Bol Krishna,
Madana Mohana,
Hari Bol Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Hari Bol Krishna,
Madana Mohana,
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Hari Bol Krishna,
Madana Mohana,
Hari Bol Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Hari Bol Krishna,
Madana Mohana,
Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama. Madana Mohana,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Hari Guru Krishna,
Madana Mohana,
Hari Guru Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Guru Krishna,
Madana Mohana,
Gopala Govinda Rama. Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama. Madana Mohana,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Guru Krishna,
Madana Mohana,
Guru Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Guru Krishna,
Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama.
Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Jai Gurudev.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana,
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana,
Hari Guru Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Hari Guru Krishna,
Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev,
Guru Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Gauranga,
Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Gurudev,
Hari Guru Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Gauranga.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gauranga, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gauranga.
Jaya Jaya Shila Prabhupada,
Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Gurudev,
Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Shila Prabhupada,
Hari Guru Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev,
Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda,
Hari Guru Krishna,
Paramahamsa,
Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa.
Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa, Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa.
Namo Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa Naminai, Gora Karuna Swarupaya, Radha Krishna Prestaya Te.
Namo Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa Namine, Gora Karuna Swarupaya, Radha Krishna Prestaya Te.
For so long, we have been discussing about this material world, about this miserable world. Now let's discuss topic that is transcendental, that will give joy to our hearts, that will give us happiness. Okay? Let's discuss now and the narrative from our spiritual master, our initiating spiritual master, the pastimes of Sudama Brahmana, and it's connected with the Lord's extraordinary mercy. Extraordinary, okay? It's not, it's fantastic, it's, amazing. And it's about the amazing grace, amazing love that is unconditional. So, due to our exposure to this world and our false concept of false bodily identification and false ego and the conditioning we had experienced, all of us, we experienced the pain, the anxiety, Okay? But after understanding our true nature, then we can connect ourselves with what will give us real happiness, fulfillment. And it's about the joy of the soul, you, me. And the reason we're suffering because we are in this material world, in this body, and our conditioning of identification with the body. So now I'll read to you here what is a pure devotee, who is a pure devotee, and what is that all about. It is about a meditation. It is about one's heart, one's consciousness that is transcendental to this miserable world because of one's pure unalloyed devotional service. It is because of one's relationship with Krishna. So sa buhay nyo ngayon, all of us here, if you are able to continue chanting every day, you become purified from all these misgivings and misfortune that will come to you because you'll become free from sinful activities. And when we become free from sinful activities, we become liberated from material desires. And what are those material desires? The desire to do our will in continuance, in trying to fulfill what we want through trying to play the Lord and dominate material nature. So that is the crux of the problem. We must realize that I am not the controller, but rather I am the eternal loving servant of God, and I must be in harmony with His will. So yun yung purpose ito. So it's a struggle for us for so long, karamihan sa atin dito, to do the will of God because of our conditioning. And what is that conditioning sa buhay natin? It is the mind. And the mind is being influenced by the three modes of material nature, Maya, illusion. And when we become attached to this body, false ego, we are guided by lust. And what is lust all about? A misdirection of our love, trying to fulfill it, to connect it with happiness in this world, this material world or matter which is different from us. And we never become fulfilled. Is it reasonable and logical? Intindihan nyo maigi? So may basis na kayo. If you try to find fulfillment, happiness, which is the quality or activities of the soul, you, and you misdirect it upon this world by following your material desires, then you will never experience fulfillment. Simple. Is it clear, Govinda Dasi? Okay? So what you should do is you should be aware of your state of consciousness, how you see yourself, how you see your mind. And not only that, what is your intention? What is your purpose in life? Okay? For all those years, ang purpose ng buhay nyo is to do your own will. Diba? Lahat kayo gusto nyo to do your own will. But have you ever succeeded? Are you in the state na, oh, okay pala ako na. I got it made. Okay? No. Because we are here and this world is arranged in such a way that we will never be comfortable here. Because we will be living this world and the world is so much arranged in such a way that it's a different energy and the body that we have is full of suffering. And if we connect our life with this body in meditation, in focus, trying to fulfill what we are longing for happiness, then we will fail. So the battle has not yet begun. We are already defeated. Okay? Intindihan nyo? What is the battle all about? You go into a war. Okay? The war with the war with what? Material nature. And if you don't understand and you're not in understanding of who you are about the absolute truth, that you are transcendental, a different energy from matter, guided by the saintly person, guided by scripture, the Lord within the heart and Lord Krishna, based upon absolute about your position and function, that we are a different energy from matter, then you're defeated. Because you will be directing your search for success, for fulfillment, which is inseparable from you, service, love, directed upon this world. By your own formula palpak. 44 na palpak. Okay? So you can see it in yourself. Okay? Have you ever come to the point na, wow, so much happiness in my heart that everything here is just passing by and I am a witness and I am clinging to a foundation that can never be taken away from me. Okay? What is that? It is about understanding, realizing this realization, Aham Brahmasmi, I am life, a different energy from matter. And not only that, engaging in my natural position and activities. Activities, rendering service to God, to do His will. Okay? So I'll read to you here what is really glorious. Okay? Lord's extraordinary mercy. Ibig sabihin nun, His care for us, His guidance, His love for us, His mercy. Merciful Lord. He's so merciful, okay? Maluluyon, okay? Mapagmahal, okay? Kasi for so long, we have been conditioned to think that God is someone who is so powerful and we're afraid of Him. Okay? So when Lord Krishna came here 5,000 years ago, He showed in His pastimes that all the residents of Vrindavan, they don't see Him as God. They play with Him. They embrace Him, They go with Him and play all around. And that is the eternal world of the liberated spirit soul who has unconditional love for the Supreme Person. So to be able to enter that world, we must be experiencing in a position, in a consciousness of unalloyed pure devotional service to Krishna. Because by nature, you're all divine. What is divine? Pure. But because we are not all powerful, when we engage ourselves in trying to manipulate matter because we're not in control, there are laws, reaction, karma. Okay? Kaya yun ang nangyayari sa atin. Kaya the process in this age of Kali Yuga is given to us by Lord Krishna Himself, the chanting of the holy names. So if we can hear the pastimes and glories of the Supreme Person, because that is one process of devotional service, in practice, so it becomes spontaneous. So if we can hear the pastimes, the holy names of the Supreme Person, it purifies us, it begins, our life becomes now focused, and we glide towards what is sweet and what is eternal and what will give us real happiness. Because of our understanding of this absolute truth about our true eternal identity. Okay? Because the first basic understanding, the first step in the right direction to know and serve God, to be in God's hands, to be able to humbly put ourselves in a consciousness to surrender and pray and take shelter of God is when we realize first who we really are. Naintindihan na niya? You are spirit soul, different energy from matter, and you, all of us, we're not self-sufficient, we're eternally the loving servant of God. We are completely dependent upon God. Even while in this body, we're dependent upon God. The air we breathe, the light we see, the food we eat, it comes from God. But are we thankful? Do we have that relationship of thanksgiving? Are we grateful? Alam niyo yung grateful? Mapagpasalamat ba tayo? So, it boils down to our consciousness. And what has been covered is our eternal relationship of loving service to the Supreme Person. That is the reason we follow this process given to us by Lord Krishna to enter the world of pure unalloyed devotional service. So it's clear sa inyo na? Is clear sa inyo? So, no matter what happens, at least you have this outlook and understanding. Now, it's up to you to really make it really, practice makes one's perfect. So the more you engage in the process of humbly chanting the holy names, receiving, being grateful and thankful, then your relationship with God becomes closer and closer because you become dependent upon Him. Why? Because the process that He's giving to you, to us, binibigay niya sa atin, that becomes our shelter. And our shelter is the holy names of God. Okay? Naintindihan na niya? Is it clear sa inyo? Okay. So I'll read here Lord's extraordinary mercy. The Lord's extraordinary mercy. When a devotee is found to be always associated with the Lord in ecstatic love, it is to be understood that such a position has been awarded by the Lord Himself out of His causeless extraordinary mercy. An example of such extraordinary mercy is given in the 11th canto, 12th chapter, verse 7 of Srimad Bhagavatam, wherein Lord Krishna tells Uddhava. Uddhava is Krishna's friend, okay? The gopis in Vrindavan did not study the Vedas nor to achieve me. The gopis in Vrindavan did not study the Vedas to achieve me, nor had they ever been in holy places of pilgrimage. Nor did they devotedly execute any regulative principles, nor did they undergo any kind of austerity. It is simply by my association that they have attained the highest perfection of devotional service. So the spiritual master is not different from God. By the mercy, if you study the teachings of Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, and Chaitanya Charitamrita, by the mercy of Lord Krishna, one comes in contact with his loving servant, the spiritual master. Okay? And by the mercy of the spiritual master, one gets to know the Supreme Person. And his love for the Supreme Person becomes closer and enhanced through his mercy. Because that is the world of the spiritual master, pure unalloyed devotional service. So that is our focus in our study program, to enter that world of pure unalloyed devotional service by following the simple instruction of our Gurudev. So the instruction of our Gurudev is based upon scriptures, the Upanishad. Okay? Harinama eva kevalam kolowa nasteva gatiranyata. In this age of Kali Yuga, there is no other process, there is no other alternative except the chanting of the holy name. Harinama. Okay? So in the Christian teaching, in Psalm, it's also stated, scriptures, okay? Scriptures are the words of God written by the saintly person, our instructing spiritual master, okay? O Lord, save me by thy name. Isalbar ko nimo sa imong mga ngalan, okay? I will sing and praise your name. Okay? I will sing and praise your name. Haribol, Haribol. That is the message of Lord Chaitanya. So when we chant the holy names, we are receiving it from His confidential loving servant, who is so merciful, who blesses us, so we can be resituated again in the world that is transcendental, that is not touched by this miserable world because of a purified consciousness. Now our consciousness is not really pure. We have material consideration. It's all about us, what we want. So we must come to the point of there's nothing more to be gained except to do the will of God. Your will is my will. Your will be done. You are the puppet master and I'm just a puppet, and whatever strings you pull, kung anong gusto niya, that will be done. I will be in harmony with your will. But in reality, even though you don't want to do or to be in that situation, you're still under the control of God. Okay? One is in control, the Supreme Person is in control of Everything, living or non-living. And you, the individual, tayo, we must be controlled by what? By love, by devotion. And how do we communicate with God? With devotion. And when we connect our heart, our meditation in devotion to God, then what happens? We are connected with the Supreme Person who is the Supreme Purifier, who is the source of love, who is self-sufficient, who gives us affection and mercy and happiness because we are now in harmony with His will. Okay? On the other hand, if you don't want to do that and you're still contaminated, you have not followed the process or you follow it not 10%, meaning full on, then you will still be contaminated by your lordship. And then you'll be serving God. But you're now under the dictates of the three modes of material nature. You're still dominated. Okay? You don't want to serve, you'll still be serving. But the difference, on one hand, one is serving God in harmony with His will. Okay? Based upon the absolute truth about our essence, meaning your transcendental nature, about your transcendental position as eternally the loving servant of God, and the experience of engaging in pure loving service based upon your meditation, your focus. And you are protected because you're under the care of God. You're able to experience the extraordinary mercy of God because of following faithfully the instruction of His pure unalloyed devotee. Okay? Yun yung science. To achieve perfection, we must follow the perfect loving servant of God and receive what He's giving us. But if we follow our own will and we hesitate, you know what's hesitate? Magduwa-duwa ba? Okay? Kung himo na ko ni, I'll do this, what do I get? Where will I be? Okay? If their consciousness is like that, it means you are dependent upon what? Who? Your own will, and you become dependent upon your mind. Okay? So the process we follow is to be able to direct the mind, redirect the mind. Okay? And to redirect the mind, we must have clarity, absolute clarity of our true eternal nature and activities that will connect us, that will give us happiness in doing the will of God. So the bottom line is to do the will of God. Okay? So you ask yourselves now, are you wanting to do the will of God? Now, you have this desire to do the will of God, but your mind is very strong. You've been conditioned. Inisip mo, you're the body. You're a woman, you're a man. Okay? But nobody, all these labels, they're all temporary. Okay? If you are intelligent kayo, you're eternal. You've been here in this material world, life after life, birth after birth, death after death. Meaning, you had so many relationships with different spirit souls. Okay? The relationship you have now, all of you here, with your parents, when you leave this body, it's all gone. Okay? Your attachment, your security, all gone. Then, according to your destiny, to your action, the resultant, you'll have another father. You'll have another body. Okay? So, you cannot remember all of those. So, you'll be here in this material world, the cycle of birth and death. And it is sad and it's really a loss in your part, all of you here, because you've been given this opportunity. Okay? So the first experience we should be experiencing in our heart is to experience this shelter, protection, and it's based upon humility. Humbleness. Humbleness. Ano ibig sabihin ng humbleness? Okay? Humbleness. Okay? Humbleness begins with following the instruction of Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. Find a bona fide spiritual master and surrender unto Him. Follow His instruction because He can guide you. He can teach you what love is. He can teach you. Now, if you're given this opportunity, then definitely it's God's extraordinary mercy because you are now having a relationship with someone who is very close to Him. And that relationship is eternal. Okay? Your relationship here with all these people, this world, is not eternal. All the things you see here, it does not exist in the spiritual world because this is the world of matter. Naintindihan nyo? Is it clear? Okay? So kung ang ano nyo, ang inisip nyo, I'll protect myself. I'm a karate man. Okay? When you leave the body, can you still do karate? Ha? Intindihan nyo? Inisip nyo, maayo ko mag-screama. Okay? You leave the body. Kung sa'y panagang nyo. Gibilin mo pati ang bolo. Okay? Be intelligent. Okay? I'll read to you. The reason I like to read this is because so we can appreciate. Ma-appreciate natin ba? Uy, I'm really loved and cared by God. The problem is me. How can I appreciate and see that and experience that? So we're given a process of Krishna embracing us, the holy names. So all we have to do, we must have faith because all those who follow this path succeeded. Nagsucceed. And the authorities here are saintly person who have unalloyed pure devotionship with the Supreme Person. It's about absolute, eternal. Okay? So ang guide natin is someone who is not materially conditioned. Okay? Who is not touched by this miserable world. Kaya habang you're in this path, you are not disturbed when you're traveling because you have only one person whom you listen. God. Okay? Intindihan nyo? Govinda Dasi? Isa lang yung susundin nyo. Marami diyang bulong-bulong. Oy, diri ka. Di ba? Maraming nagsasabi, oy. Parang dyan ba? Isda. Purit. Bago. Eh, sabi sa'yo, diretso ka lang. Huwag kang makinig dyan. Okay? Straight ka lang. Okay? Then, why do you do that? Because you have a relationship with the representative of God who is a pure loving servant of God. And you want to do the will of God. So it's a relationship. Okay? So now, that relationship must be very honest because it's a relationship of trust. It's a relationship of purity. Now you ask yourself, can I make a stand to hold on, to make a stand to have that relationship? Yes, you can. Provided you can be able to direct the mind to do the will of God. Okay? And how do you do that? By God Himself embracing you through the holy names, purifying you, giving you happiness within. Okay? There's a difference between material sound and transcendental sound. You say mango. The sound mango is different from the object mango. Okay? It's relative. Okay? You say water. Uhaw na ako. The water, the sound water, and the object water is different. But if you say Krishna, okay? It's stated by all the saintly person, Scripture, the holy names of the Lord can protect you. Okay? It's not different from God. And it's exemplified by Lord Chaitanya Himself. And when you chant the holy names, Krishna, the more you become purified, the more you enter that world. And what is that world all about? It is shelter, it is embrace, it is my life under the care of God. So you're very secured. Okay? You no fear. You can wear this no fear, Haribol, Namaste. Okay? Hindi na yung be brave, okay? By being humble. Okay? A brave person is not a... What is cowardice? Kanang talawan, okay? So when you have this fortune of God's grace and God's mercy, simply by the association of His loving servant, through His grace and mercy, if you abide, if you take shelter of His instruction, the chanting of the holy names, you have faith, and then everything will be revealed to you. Okay? So the question now, can I know God? Can I be taking shelter of God? Yes. Because Krishna tells us directly, find a bona fide spiritual master. And we have a bona fide spiritual master. Guided by Scripture, the Lord within the heart. And the symptom of a bona fide spiritual master is someone who has pure unalloyed devotional service to the Supreme Person. It's like fire. When you touch it, it's hot. It's like when metal comes in contact with fire. Ano mangyari sa metal? Becomes fire. So meaning, the spiritual master is so potent, non-different from God, the supreme purifier, that if you simply take his instruction, then Krishna, the supreme person, will take care of everything. Okay? So Krishna tells us this. He confirms this of the path we are following. Okay? It's not because I wanted to convince you. No. It is about Krishna's instruction. Okay? My dear Arjuna, he said to Arjuna, our spiritual master. Arjuna is our spiritual master. He's also our instructing spiritual master. And Jagad Guru Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa is our initiating spiritual master. Diksha. Okay? My dear Arjuna, one who is engaged in my pure devotional service, free from material contamination of previous activities and from mental speculation, who is friendly to every living entity, certainly comes to me. Okay? So Krishna is assuring you, all of us, if you take shelter of His devotee, then you're protected. And what is that shelter? It's your relationship. You must make a stand. If you make a stand to do what is right, in harmony with service to Krishna, by the guidance of the spiritual master, the 9 process. What is the 9 process, Keshav? Hearing, chanting, offering prayers, surrendering to Krishna. Okay? The 9 process, bowing down to the deity, remembering to the Lord, making friends with the Lord, surrendering everything. Then, that is the guidance. And it is you who can now experience the shelter because of your commitment, of your surrender. When you are so helpless in the face of adversity, all of these problems, you take shelter of Krishna by offering humbly your life, please protect me. Then when you're in that state, then you're protected. Because at that time, you're able to follow the instruction of the spiritual master and you listen only to Krishna and your spiritual master. Okay? Not from any conditioned living entities. Okay? What is conditioned living entity? Someone who is under the 3 modes of material nature, who is so confused. Okay? He sees with the eye of passion, goodness, and ignorance. Okay? So we follow someone who is the seer of the truth. Because someone who sees the truth can give us the truth. And that person is none other than Krishna's representative. Okay? Is understandable sa inyo? So you're very secured. Ang question lang, how you will commit yourself, how you will apply it in your life. So now, you have different talents. You have iba-ibang talent nyo eh. You like music, you like to do this, you like to do that. But the bottom line is to follow the instruction of our initiating spiritual master who teaches us how to become a disciple. And what is a disciple? Someone who disciplines himself guided by the instruction of the spiritual master. Okay? To be disciplined. And what is the discipline? To be aligned in harmony with what is pure and transcendental. It's a different discipline from what everybody wants, you know. The discipline in the jailhouse. No, it's not like that. It's the discipline wherein you're able to make this choice in your life to do the will of God. And that is your meditation day out, day in. You're under now the care of God. And then you can experience that, yes, when Krishna tells me, those who are constantly devoted unto me, I give them the understanding by which they can come to me.
Krishna's assuring us. If you're devoted, then you have no other shelter except Him. He's the master. You're just like a puppet being pulled, according to what He wants. Then you're sheltered, you're protected. Is it clear sa inyo? Jagadisha Dasi? Psst. Is it clear sa iyo? Okay? So if you cannot understand and comprehend yung English, what I'm saying is that just chant the holy names, okay? Let Krishna take care of our life by chanting the holy name. Harinama, okay? The Maha Mantra, non-different from Krishna. And then we can experience the extraordinary of mercy of Krishna, that while even in this world, that when Lord Krishna closed his pastime 5,000 years ago, and Lord Chaitanya closed his pastimes 500 years ago, he still is here because of our relationship with His pure loving servant. We have someone who is a resident of the spiritual world, our Gurudev. Tindihan nyo? Okay? So to enter spiritual life, the spiritual world is a relationship. Follow the instruction of the spiritual master. Then you're protected. Okay? It's not by your own power. It's not how you're intelligent. No. Just humbly follow the instruction of the spiritual master. So I'll read to you this one. I'm reading this to put clarity, to give foundation that is absolute, not based upon one's pigment, confused imagination, guided, or, by the three modes of material nature, who is conditioned, who is always anxious, who wants to have her own formula how to serve Krishna. Okay? That when she sees others serving Krishna, she feels uncomfortable. Okay? Because she cannot enter that world. To enter that world that is transcendental, you must come to the point of what? To give your life to God. To do His will. To surrender. Because He tells us clearly, to those who constantly remember me, surrenders unto me, I'll give them protection. Abandon all varieties of religion and I'll protect you. And He tells us clearly that even though one is very sinful, because we have engaged in so many sinful activities, so by the process given to us by our spiritual master, we become liberated. What is liberation? Free from material desires. But even though we are in this body now, we can see the material desire in our mind. But we have now a choice to follow Krishna's decision, Krishna's will, and the guidance of our spiritual master, or to follow the desire being given to us by Maya. So now, you're liberated because you can direct the mind. No, I will just follow the instruction of my spiritual master. I want to be close with Him. So the relationship now is what counts. Are you close with God? God is everywhere. He's inside and outside of everything. Okay? Ang question, you, me, are we really close? Do we have that when time comes, Krishna? Okay? Di ba? Karamihan sa inyo, halimbawa, naglalakad kayo dyan, nakatapak ka, nakikita ko man yan, bigla nakatapak sila ng pupo. Pok. Anong lumalabas sa bibig nila?
Swear.
They swear, di ba? Hindi ko na sasabihin kung ano yung swear. Di ba? Yeah? But the devotee is always thinking of Krishna. He's not touched by this world. Okay? That even though he's insignificant, very minute, because now you're under the divine energy of God, Radha, the spiritual master. Okay? Yoga Maya, the pleasure potency of God. So Krishna is the supreme enjoyer. Okay? He enjoys with what? Love. Radha. And the spiritual master is the maidservant of Radha. So we're being taught to experience the experience of Krishna's joy by following the instruction of our spiritual master. Okay? Not from any assholes trying to portray that they're so intelligent. Okay? And touched by this miserable world, always anxious. That world of Vaikuntha is free from anxiety. Okay, if someone sees someone engaging in the service of Krishna, guided by the spiritual master, and that person becomes anxious, no. So it means this person is not making progress. Why? Because she has time to think about others. So what should we do now? Okay? Very busy to do the will of our spiritual master, to be guided by a spiritual master, not to be guided by someone who is anxious because she's miserable. Okay? Wretched condition. Okay? Intindihan niya? Okay? From example of, basahin ko to last bago tayo magsara. From the example of Chandrakanti as found in Padma Purana and the example of the gopis as found in Srimad Bhagavatam, it appears that a devotee who always thinks of Krishna, who always chants his glories and ecstatic love, regardless of his condition, will attain the highest perfection of unalloyed pure devotional love due to Krishna's extraordinary mercy. This is confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam. If a person worship, adores, and love Hari, Krishna, the Supreme Lord, he should be understood to have finished all kinds of austerities, penance, and similar process of self-realization. On the other hand, if after undergoing all types of austerities, penance, and mystic yoga practice, one does not develop love for Hari, then all his performance are to be considered useless and a waste of time. So, yun yung difference. So now our meditation is now focused upon doing the will of our spiritual master. And what is the instruction of our spiritual master? To chant the holy names. And then, through the chanting of the holy names, Krishna will guide us what to do, what he wants. Okay? We're able to see in clarity what he wants because our life now, our heart is connected with doing his will. Okay? You don't have time anymore to listen to any wretched individual trying to tell you how to be guided in this material world that always anxious about what people are doing, you know? Okay? It must be seen and experienced in purity based upon the all-merciful love of Krishna, guided by him, guided by his pleasure potency, the maidservant of Radha and Krishna, the spiritual master. Okay? Intindihan niya? Is it clear sa inyo? So the taste of the pudding is in the eating. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Para matikman nyo yun, kainin nyo yung cake. Di ba? Nakikinig kayo parate. Okay? Sabi sa inyo, walk straight. Tikman nyo, inumin nyo, kainin nyo. Pero nandiyo man kayo kasi yung mind is very strong. Iniisipan nyo yung lahat ng desire sa mind. Just like this person, when he sees other devotees chanting, worshiping, following the instruction of Lord Krishna, she's in anxiety. Okay? Because she has own world, her own will. This miserable world. That's why she's always in anxiety. So the devotee is never in anxiety. Because he's not anxious of doing his own will. His only life is to do what is pleasing to Krishna and his spiritual master. That is the effect of the purificatory process of chanting the holy name. Okay? Is it clear? So we experience the Lord's extraordinary mercy. Okay? It's Krishna himself who will be guiding us. Okay? So Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, even though one is very sinful, one is less intelligent, if he takes to this path of devotional service, then he will cross over this ocean of material misery. So it means, bottom line, your meditation. If your meditation is your own will, then goodbye, you suffer. Okay? You'll be misdirected. You'll just be like a sheep. You're in a ship, wherein this body is like a sheep with no rudder. You're just being blown by the wind. You're like the clouds being driven by the wind, wherever it goes. So, we must have this anchor. And what is our anchor, our shelter? Our Gurudev, our spiritual master. Without him, we have no guidance. Because the spiritual master is very dear to Krishna. So if you follow his instruction, Krishna's pleased. And if Krishna's pleased, then you succeed. Okay? You're in God's hands. Okay? Not from the hands of all these people, blah, 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 there. Okay? Haribol Namaste.
Namo Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa Namine Ora Karuna Swarupaya Radha Krishna Prestayante.
Namo Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa Namine, Ora Karuna Swarupaya, Radha Krishna Prestayate.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nayanya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nayanya
Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Narayana. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Narayana.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nayanya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nayanya
Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Narayana. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Narayana.
Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya
Krishna,
Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasudeva Gaur Bhakta Vrinda
Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shri Vasudeva Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Gopala Govinda Rama
Hari Bol Krishna,
Madana Mohana
Hari Bol Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama
Hari Bol Krishna,
Madana Mohana
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Haribol Nitai Gaur Haribol Krishna
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama
Krishna,
Madana Mohana
Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama
Krishna,
Madana Mohana
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama
Hari Bol Krishna,
Madana Mohana
Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama
Krishna,
Madana Mohana
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama
Krishna,
Madana Mohana
Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama
Hari Bol Krishna,
Madana Mohana
Gopala Govinda
Haribol Haribol Haribol
Madana Mohana,
Haribol
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama
Hari Bol Krishna,
Madana Mohana
Hari Bol Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama
Hari Bol Krishna,
Madana Mohana
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Mohana. Haribol, Krsna, Haribol Nitai Gaur. Jai Jai Gurudev, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Haribol. Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. Haribol, 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 Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. Haribol, Haribol. Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. Haribol, Haribol. Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. Haribol, Haribol, Haribol. Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gauranga, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gauranga. Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa, Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa.
Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa, Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa.
Namo Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa Naminai Gora Karuna Swarupaya Radha Krishna Prestayate.
Namo
Krsna Gauranga.